Hey, we've got Mark Ellis here with AJ in the Spotlight Show with AJ. How you doing, Mark? How's things?
Oh, good, thank you. Yeah, very good. Been a
Yeah,
hectic couple of months.
it has been a hectic couple of months for you. Been keeping busy tabs on your socials, buddy. So we've got Mark Ellis, aka Fair Weather and Son. You've got like a double-barreled name going on, but we'll find out a bit more about that in the interview and how you come about with Fair Weather Son. So, a few facts for our listeners and also a few facts for Mark's listeners as well. Mark is a songwriter, he's from the UK. He's also been performing with bands for about 20 years. That's a long time, long time. Some of Mark's biggest sort of memories are his Dreamland in 2018. That's one of his biggest successes, and I'm sure he's going to tell us a little bit about that in today's show. He's also done a song, and I know that you like your charitable writing and writing for charity, and you have put that in the bio for me. A song called Carry You, which was released as a charity single for Glick Sargent, and led to a special performance at the Royal Albert Hall. Wow, okay, mate. In 2014, a long time ago, but I'm sure you've got some great memories to share. Your latest single, which is also 38 years. So that's on all socials at the moment. And I'm sure we can find that at the end of this video. I shall put Mark's socials at the end of the video so
Yeah.
everybody can link you up, buddy, and also find your latest single. So, as we know on AJ's podcast, we like to dig some dirt on our artists. And I'm sure they're doing the same to me when I go on their podcast. Okay. So, some things that I found out about Mark is that he has small chart success in the UK and in Austria. I really
True
want to know
story.
how, true story, I really want to know how Austria's come about and how you managed to become a UK artist singing in Austria, whether you had to change your language or they understood what you were singing.
So like that was a really long time ago, but I was in a band called Hamfatter, which is a Cambridge-based band, and the singer of that I was on the drums for these guys, and the
Okay.
singer of that band was very resourceful and very driven chap. And I think basically he was just doing what you do, which is you send your music everywhere that will take it. And there's a station, I'm sure it's still a thing, called FM4 or FM4. And they basically liked what we were doing. And I think they played some stuff off of our first album initially, and then we kind of went over and did a couple of shows in Vienna,
Wow.
just invited by the station. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we did a single album, in fact, called Girls and Graz. That's the second album.
Okay.
Graz is Austria's second city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, the people of Austria probably quite liked that. And it just kind of took, well, relatively speaking, kind of took off a little bit. Um,
That's quite some time ago, Mark. So do you reckon, do you keep in contact with them now? Do they know who you are now? Do they follow you?
I doubt it. It's been a long time. Where are we now? 20, 12,
2024.
I was 17, 18 at the time. So
Wow.
yeah, 20, a good 20 years ago now. If
Wow.
I spoke to the individuals from the radio station, and they
Yeah.
probably go, "Oh, hi, mate," but like in terms of a fan base, I doubt it.
We'll have to see. We can after this video. We'll have to see if we can find a fan base for you in Austria because that sounded pretty cool success. And the other one I want to know about is Dragon's Den. Come on, tell our listeners what happened in Dragon's Den.
Inevitably. I'll start by saying this. I actually found it really hard to talk about this for a long time,
Okay.
but I think that I'm okay with it now, and B, I think it's quite an important thing that we did.
Okay.
And it's by no means not taking any credit for the way things are at all, but it
Hmm.
certainly was a part of a bigger movement towards people kind of being a bit more sort of business minded in music and as an artist, and a bit more self-sufficient. So obviously we did that in a very public way,
Okay.
asking for money. The idea was, well, we got given £75,000. This is lots of money
From the Dragon's Den.
from Dragon's Den.
Wow, it must have been a good pitch. There's not many people who get money out of them.
No, well, 4 out of 5 dragons wanted to be involved as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it was a really successful thing in a way. Um, and I don't know how to really kind of the next bit is that a lot of people who were industry based, shall we say,
Yeah.
who were being very polite to us before it, suddenly kind of did a bit of a 180 on us and were a bit mean.
Right.
I think
Okay.
it's fair to say. I won't go into too much on that, but it
You
was,
don't. You don't need to. We know how hard the music industry is. You know.
but
It's
the
just like,
enemy weren't very cool. Let's put it
right.
that way.
Okay.
So, but that that happens. It's fine. The biggest kind of compliment or the thing that came out of that for me is when I found out that 2 or 3 years later, somebody was studying A-level music business, and we were a part of the syllabus. And I kind of,
Wow.
do you know what? That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Because it's part of the conversation. And now you look at things like Pledge Music and Kickstarter and Patreon, all these things
Hmm.
that are the norm. And as I said at the start, like it's nothing to do with us,
No.
but it was certainly, we were part of that movement at the start because 2008, Napster, LimeWire, all that was massive. The music industry didn't really know what to do about it, and etc. So that was what was going on at the time. So we were being quite innovative, but it's just, yeah, there were also some bad decisions made along the way, but I won't go into that too much.
Yeah, okay, you give us a good background, and the fact that you got the funding in the first place, and the work
Yeah,
that you've done really does show, you were a big part of that. And congratulations for that, for that special year. So what got you into music when you first started? What made you decide? What? Actually, this is the career for me.
I think I was having a chat with somebody the other day about this, and it was never a conscious decision with me. It was always just that's what I am, that's who I am. Um, and any time that I've moved away from it, because it's hard, and
It is.
sometimes you think, oh, maybe I should have a proper career or something. Then you get really sad because you realize, and then you realize after a while that you've been sad. You kind of go, oh, well, it's because I'm not
Mm,
being myself.
mm, mm.
And so, it is just who I am, for better or for worse. And but I kind of think that, not getting into the deep chat too much, but like at least that, I may never be a massive star, but at least I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, it's great, and I just love it. And my dad's a musician, there's a big run of Ellis family history on the wall above the piano in my dad's living room is the Ellis family circa 18 something or 1901 or a long
Right.
time. And it was a picture a photograph they had taken of the family band, and in this village in Yorkshire everybody knew who they were.
Okay.
So it's just always been a thing that in my family,
Oh,
it
fantastic.
just backs up like that is who I am. So
Yeah. Yeah. Probably my audience don't know about me. I found out from my dad that he was a drummer for Cilla Black. That's
oh
where
my
I don't
God.
think that's my musical background because that's like never been
Wow.
mentioned before. And I haven't mentioned that to many people. But there's been my nephew, my sister's son, two sons actually, are out in America at the moment, and they're rappers. And they've got a
Wow.
quite successful career going on in America at the moment for both of them.
Nice.
So there is music in our family, but from yours, it sounds as though it's a big history. We do share a little bit of history between us. You live in Ely, or you lived in Ely,
Oh yeah.
and that's my
Yeah.
like hometown as well. And we got introduced to each other by my mum. My mum
Yeah,
found
that's
me.
right. Yeah.
So we both come from. How long was you in Ely for?
Oh, well, same as the title of my last single, 38 years.
Wow. Okay. So probably same as about me. So we're probably roughly the same age, and we were there at the same time. God,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much is a small world is the music world, hey?
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
So I mentioned about Dreamland. What's been your biggest achievement in music?
I certainly think that was one of them. There's several reasons why I would say that. I think the sort of the headline reason is that it got me a publishing deal.
Wow.
And if apart from anything else, it's just validation of not being rubbish at what I do. So
I'm
it's like,
sure you're
oh,
not.
hey, I don't suck. Oh, thank God. So there's that. But I think as well, you know, an awful lot of hard work went into that, and I had a lot of support from different people in different ways. And the guy that started all of that off was my friend Boo Hewardine. We actually wrote a single. He came around to mine to write some songs, and we wrote a song called Slow Mo, which was the first single.
Right.
And I think I actually initially scared him off because he said, "Oh, maybe we could do a single," and I went, "Yeah, maybe we do a whole record." And
Deliver, we just went.
but I kept playing the song, and I was like, I need to use it for something. So got my friend Ellie to sing it, and then that was it. That was the beginning of Elmer. So Ellie and Mark, Elmer. But I think that, so like I said, the publishing thing, but also the hard work that went into it, and that wasn't massively long after Dragon's Den. It was a bit of time, but like, I was a bit lost for a while. And I managed to kind of pull myself together and make that happen. So that was kind of a big deal.
Fantastic. Okay, so one of the questions I sent you, I've been trying to dig some dirt on you, and I did right at the beginning. Is there anything else that people really don't know about you? If there's one thing you've not told your fans, not told anybody yet, we found it on your socials. You're a big lover of cats. But
Of course, my boy.
my last. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go to the cat. Come on. What's the why? Why cats? Inevitably, why cats?
We've always had them in my family.
Okay.
And I think that's probably the reason, really. But I just love them, man. All animals I absolutely love, and I just think they've got so much personality, and they're just so fun. And when you find, they're all good, but when you find a good one, like my boy, then there's an unconditional, unspoken thing going on there, And I think in a world where that there's always, it doesn't matter who it is, there's always something kind of going on behind the conversation. With an animal, that's just not the case. You just love each other, and it's great.
So BGT for the animal next year. We see the dogs on BGT. Does your cat have any special talents?
Working on it. I mean, I'm getting him harness trained so he can go for a walk. So we'll take it from there.
Fantastic. Any other hobbies or any other things that you do outside of music?
I mean, I wish I did more. I'll say that I feel like I don't have a lot of time at the moment, Adrian. But like, I love sport.
Okay.
There's a competitiveness that I think transcends into my music side as well. Because you have to be driven and competitive and the rest of it. I just love sport,
Any particular sport?
Been watching tennis, like Wimbledon, obviously, is very soon. We're really looking forward to that. I'm actually going to that with my mum, so that's going to be really nice. And football, sorry everyone, I support Man United, but
again, we can share that love.
There you go. In my defense to everybody else that goes, of course it does. I'll tell you the story of that. So I was in primary school, so I was about 8 or 9.
Okay.
And so that's about 1993. So, they were beginning to do quite well. And my favorite color is red. And someone said, "Oh, who do you support?" And I said, "All the Reds," because I didn't know what I was talking about. And it could have been Liverpool, it could have been Arsenal, it could have been, I don't know, Nottingham Forest, but it was Man United, and that's just the way it's always been. So
fantastic.
I can assure everyone that we're suffering plenty now. So
we are definitely suffering. So it's a big up for Manchester United. Subscribers, please don't unlike my station just because we're Man United fans, okay? So don't out me just because I'm a Man United fan. Just remember to follow the love and follow the music, okay? That's why we're here, not for football, okay? But we've got lots in common. I think one of the things that we have got in common is that we're both singer songwriters. We're both, trying our best to improve our career and go places with our career. We both charity write and sort of work with charities, which is fantastic. But one of the ideas of these podcasts is to, also give some tips to other people starting out in the music industry, to people who, have never gone where we've gone in terms of being on stage or written a song or got something out there on Spotify or, so what I'm asking artists is that, if I'm someone who's going to come along and have a look at these podcasts and think, I'd really love to get into music, I'm asking my artists, give me some tips. What are your top tips for these artists?
I think so. There's a few different things, right? I mean, there's so much, but to keep it relatively simple, I think practice. I think that particularly when if you've never done a show and you're nervous and all the rest of it, the best thing you can do is to be prepared. So, you know, make sure you got fresh set of strings on, make sure your jack lead works, you know, all really simple stuff. And then when it comes to you actually playing, get a set list sorted, write it down, drill it, just play it over and over and over, because you're going to get nervous, you're going to get all wobbly and forgetful. But as long as you've actually put the prep in, muscle memory will kick in and you will be fine.
Fantastic.
That's the biggest thing I'd
That's
say.
that's a really, really good top tip. You know, and you know, I find myself, you know, when I go out and I do gig, if I don't have something, it will set off my nerves and my anxiety straight away. Being prepared is the best weapon that you can have. And
Yeah,
just
that's
taking
it.
extra, just, you know, don't worry about paying extra, just take extra, because, you know, if something, there will be something that goes wrong, whether it's in the PA or your strings, or, you know, just make sure you're all nicely prepared before you do your gig. And like Debbie said on my last podcast, enjoy it. You know, music is your friend. At the end of the day, you're there to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, have a professional. She's in Las Vegas this weekend, you know, and at the end
Wow.
of the day, you know, she just goes out for the love of music. And that's what we all need to do as artists. So listen, we've got a little bit more time. But you know, so let's plug your latest single.
Yeah.
You've told me the title of it. Tell me a bit more about it and where our audience can find this single.
Well, so it's out everywhere, so Spotify and Apple Music, Amazon, etc. And yeah, it's called 38 Years. That is my age, is also the amount of time that I lived in Ely. So as you can imagine, it's just a nice goodbye song to my hometown. Um, on the surface, it's kind of a bit dumb, but you know, there's some substance in there in the bridge. But most of all, it's just catchy and kind of fun, and I just wanted to have something sort of punctuate that part of my life before I kind of moved on.
And
And
the move's gone well, I gather. The move to where you are now. Where are you?
yeah, so now, well, right now I'm in Glasgow,
Right now.
but otherwise I'm living in Edinburgh. And it's fantastic. It's a really scary thing to do, to just kind of put it all out there, because I've not moved for a job or anything, you know,
Right.
sort of sensible. I just kind of moved because I like it.
Brilliant. Okay, so
Um,
any new gigs lined up in Scotland? When's the next gig?
well, the next Fairweather Song gig to be confirmed. I'm hoping to do some full band stuff later in the year up here, and there will be another one down in Cambridge at some point as well, because that was really fun. The one I did just before I left. But outside of that, I'm really lucky because I've been asked to kind of go and be a session musician slash writer, producery person on a songwriting course up in the Highlands.
Oh wow.
So there's kind of, and we were talking about sort of charitable
Yeah,
things. This is
yeah.
for disadvantaged young people. So it's an opportunity to share my skills and
So skills, fantastic.
expertise with these folks, and hopefully kind of have a really wholesome week.
Brilliant. We'll have a really good time. That sounds like an absolutely amazing thing to be doing. I will try and check you out when you're down in Cambridge. I shall keep hold of that and also speak to my mother. I'm sure she'll be wanting to join me as well when you come down to Cambridge.
Nice.
So, Mark, I just want to thank you from myself and also from the community here, AJ, and just wish you all the luck in the future. So we're going to
Thanks,
sign
man.
off and say goodbye to you and give you a bit of a round of applause. And we will put your socials at the end of this show. Okay, so take care, buddy. See you later.
Cheers, man. See you later. Bye.